Welcome to the next installation of our Biggest Changer series. This presentation is to give you a better understanding of what factors contribute to our weight gain or our weight loss. Let's first talk about some obesity facts. Obesity is a BMI over 30, and we will talk more about BMIs in just a few slides. But obesity is a worldwide epidemic with 2.5 billion people affected. In the United States alone, the rate is approximately 1 in 3 adults. More importantly, it's associated with millions of deaths, which is sad when it is considered a preventable disease. Obesity is slowly growing, with rates climbing about 1/3% each year. It not only hurts our health, it hurts our pocketbooks. It is very expensive to treat obesity-related health problems, and that is reflective in our insurance rates. So what is obesity? The medical definition is listed here, but bottom line is when our intake exceeds what we need to maintain normal body functions, promoting storage of fat that results in illness. It's when the scale tips to the left. So what are the contributing factors? Genetics do play a large role in how our body uses and stores calories, accounting for about 30 to 40% of our fat distribution. Remember, it isn't just mom or dad, it comes from both sides. What we eat and what we do does matter. Excess caloric intake with not enough exercise contributes. Unfortunately, college does play a role in increased sedentary activities when we have to sit in class, sit to study, and sit to complete our assignments. Environmental factors can also play a role and include medications, toxins, food additives, and preservatives. Promotional factors include things like advertising and marketing that are designed to draw you in. But it can also be from peer pressure. You know you have to have a beer with that pizza. So going back to the BMI or body mass index, BMIs are used by the medical communities as a baseline measurement of weight. Unfortunately, it's a poor measurement tool. It does not account for fat versus muscle mass, skeletal structure, fat distribution, metabolism, and other physiological variable factors. So BMI is just a baseline determination used as a general tool to identify when to become concerned about your weight. It is broken down into 5 levels. Some people use slightly different breakdown, but the generally accepted rule is under 18.4 is underweight, 18.5 to 24.9 is normal, over 25 is overweight, over 30 is considered obese, and over 40 is considered extremely obese or morbidly obese. Morbid obesity reflects that there's a high risk of developing unhealthy medical conditions associated with your weight. Why does obesity occur? It's an issue of energy intake versus energy output. And it's important that you think of it as energy and not just calories, because it is more than just food. Our metabolism plays a very large role in obesity. If you stayed in bed all day with no physical activity, 50 to 75% of your daily caloric use is for basic bodily functions, and that can be affected by our gender, thyroid function, smoking status, growth hormone levels, skeletal muscle mass, and body temperature. Even if you intentionally exercise, only about 25% of our calories are used for purposeful exercise, like when we go to the gym or go for a walk. 7% of our caloric expenditure is used for normal activities, like when we just get up to go to the bathroom, walking around, and going up steps. About 8% of our calories are used to digest food. So we really like to blame mom and dad. Genetics do play a factor, as I mentioned before. Genetics has been linked to things like our BMI, waist to hip ratios, eating habits, metabolic rate, and fat distribution patterns. It is also contributing to our lipid balance, which is our good and bad cholesterols or high triglycerides. We can be more prone to diseases such as high blood pressure. The way our bodies secrete and use insulin and how we store nutrients and metabolize foods is associated with our genetics. It is important to realize that there is a genetic component, but these factors can be controlled. Genetics cannot account for the worldwide increase in obesity, though. We aren't all related, so it's really important to consider the environmental and habitual factors that affect the disease, and yes, it is a disease. One bad habit some people get into is smoking to lose or maintain weight. It is true that there are components from smoking that increase our metabolism and suppress our appetite. Generally speaking, smokers tend to have lower BMIs, but they also tend to have more unhealthy fat located within their bodies, like around their organs. That is known as visceral fat. The truth is that there's generally only about a 10-pound weight gain associated with smoking cessation, and that 10 pounds has a lower risk to your health than smoking does. There's less research available in vaping, but there have been studies done that report a correlation with ill health issues in vaping. The use of vaping as a smoking cessation tool is not supported by research and is not recommended by the medical community at this time. Some medications have even been implicated in weight gain, but that does not mean you cannot lose weight if you're on them. It's very important to control chronic illnesses to limit the development of complications. Stopping your medications or taking less than prescribed can cause serious consequences, and you should not do that without consulting your primary care provider or the specialist who prescribed them. So let's talk environment. Unfortunately, there are many toxins, additives, preservatives, and exogenous hormones found in food products today. Even fresh products when certain pesticides or fertilizers are used. You can inadvertently get steroids from meat products. Although it's more expensive to eat organic, it is healthier. Processed foods, or foods that sit on your shelf in packages for a long time, have more things added to them to preserve them and are poorer food choices than organic or non-organic foods and meats. Environmental factors can also come from stress. Contrary to popular belief, psychological stress, which is stress from emotions, has less implications than physiologic stress from lack of sleep or obesity. There are many changes in our bodies when we do not get enough sleep that causes weight gain or difficulty losing weight, so get your sleep. So what if I'm a little overweight? It isn't just your health that can be affected. Many obese people face discrimination and societal problems. This can contribute to psychological issues like low self-esteem, behavioral disorders, and even eating disorders. All of these factors can impact your overall quality of life. Some medical conditions that may be out of your control can contribute to your weight. Some physical and psychological illnesses, like the ones listed on the slide, can be effectively treated by your medical provider that may increase your chance of obtaining or maintaining a healthy weight. You should suspect a medical condition that may be able to be treated if you have some of these symptoms. If you have any of these, you should discuss them with your healthcare provider. Most can be evaluated with simple testing. So where do you start? It's always recommended that you have a good physical examination to make sure there aren't any of those medical conditions that need to be treated before you start to lose weight. If they're not treated, they may prevent you from losing or maintaining your weight. Then lifestyle changes. Decrease your energy intake. It does help to think of energy and not calories. Do you really need more energy to do what you're doing? Set small goals. A 5% reduction in weight is a good place to start and has been shown to reduce blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Increase your energy expenditure, which can simply be taking the stairs instead of the elevators and walking to class instead of driving. I've listed some links here to help you better understand metabolism. They are short and very simple to understand. Good luck with the biggest changer competition, and if you want 5 extra points, post a selfie on our Facebook page of you doing a healthy physical activity. Thank you for your interest, and here are the resources I used for this presentation.